I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Serious?
I mean...
Joy in a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you've been paying attention this week, then you are aware of two major news stories that I believe reveal where America is right now. And it's not good. They include Daniel Penny's verdict and acquittal of all charges. He's the man who saved a bunch of people on the subway from a deranged man. And we'll also look at the execution of the United Healthcare CEO. Now, it's not the stories themselves that reveal where America is morally right now. I mean, to an extent, yes, they are microcosms of growing moral corruption. But what's really revealing is the response from the public. We have two situations, one where a man clearly displayed courage and bravery in potentially saving the lives of many people, yet a large majority of the public is outraged that he was declared innocent. Meanwhile, we have a situation where someone outright murders another person in cold blood, and perhaps millions of people are shouting with joy. This upside-down thinking reminds me of a verse in the book of Isaiah which says, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil." Okay, so let's first take a look at an interview with Piers Morgan and pseudo-journalist Taylor Lorenz discussing the execution of United Healthcare CEO. Then we'll dive into the unhinged responses to Daniel Penny's acquittal. Let's take a look.
I disagree. Let's move to the other story because Taylor's been waiting patiently here. So this issue of Brian Thompson, one of the top healthcare executives in the country, I'm just curious why your first reaction would be to his cold-blooded execution. And people wonder why we want these executives dead. And then you later commented when people were giving you a lot of blowback, "I'm not alone," you said. "Healthcare executive down with party balloons" was on a next post that you commented on. Why would you be in such a celebratory mood about the execution of another human being? Aren't you supposed to be on the caring, sharing left where, you believe in the sanctity of life?
I do believe in the sanctity of life. And I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Serious?
I mean...
Joy in a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not empathy. Because again...
We're watching the footage. How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's being gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Thousands of Americans that be murdered. So are the tens of thousands of Americans, innocent Americans, who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care to the most vulnerable people.
Now, I understand why people are upset with the healthcare industry. I'm dealing with a health issue myself that's very frustrating. In fact, the insurance company has denied some of the tests that my doctors ordered. But never in a million years would I ever be happy or feel any joy that someone was murdered in cold blood. This one man who has a family and kids is not the problem. It's the system. But the fact that people are joyful because of the death of a man is horrifying to me. And it's not just Taylor Lorenz. People are celebrating everywhere. Check out this clip from an influencer.
This is who the police are saying did that pew-pewing in New York, and the girls and the gays are freaking out right now. The tabs are carved out of granite, dog. This guy is literally a 26-year-old Batman. Our hero got narked out by a manager at McDonald's. You literally had one job. Shut up and put the fries in the bag! You really had to go after that 10K reward, didn't you? You know that's only gonna be like a few grand after taxes to become the most hated person in this country right now? You soulless class traitor.
I get the hatred of the healthcare industry, but this response to the death of a human life is so evil. Now let's take a look at one more clip from Jon Stewart in The Daily Show and listen to the crowd.
Today, they did appear to catch that guy today at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Look, I'm sorry, guys. Apparently, a bystander at the McDonald's ratted him out. And normally, I would say snitches get stitches, but obviously without pre-approval, there's really...
Wow, that is insane. That man had a family, had a life, and it was taken wrongly, and these people are rooting for the murder. That was not justice, but our society doesn't understand justice anymore. Now let's turn to the Daniel Penny case. Here's some background.
protests overnight demanding the arrest of the Marine veteran who put a homeless man in a deadly chokehold. Witnesses say the victim was acting erratically and threatening other passengers. Whit Johnson has the latest.
Overnight, protesters demanding the arrest of a Marine veteran.
You took drugs from us! How many more?
The NYPD now reviewing that video and calling for witnesses to come forward. Authorities say 30-year-old Jordan Neely was acting erratically, and some witnesses reported he threatened passengers on the Manhattan F train when the 24-year-old veteran stepped in. Other passengers seen holding Neely's arms. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital. New York Governor Kathy Hochul calling the case horrific.
This was an individual who took the situation into his own hands. Just looking at that video, you know it's wrong. No one has the right to take the life of another person.
It is unfortunate that a man died, but according to public record, he was a clear threat to the public on many occasions. And it was only a matter of time before something tragic would happen. And thank God it wasn't one of the innocent bystanders. Mayor Hochul's response is sickening because she's just playing politics at the expense of an innocent person's life. Daniel Penny was a hero and definitely not the bad guy. Now let's listen to Daniel Penny's response to the situation, and then we'll look at how a large segment of the public is responding to his acquittal of all charges, and it's insane.
East Village in Manhattan, so I take the subway multiple times a day. In this instance, I was coming from school. I got out of class around 2:15, and I took I was at J Street Metro Tech, took the Uptown F train. At 2nd Avenue, a man came on, stumbled on, appeared to be on drugs. The doors closed, and he ripped his jacket off and threw it at the people sitting down to my left. I was listening to music at the time, and he was yelling, so I took my headphones out to hear what he was yelling. And the three main threats that he repeated over and over was, "I'm gonna kill you, I'm prepared to go to jail for life, and I'm willing to die." You know, this was a scary situation, and Mr. Neely came on. He was threatening. I'm 6'2", and he was taller than me. So and there's a common misconception that Marines don't get scared. We're actually taught one of our core values is courage. And courage is not the absence of fear, but how you handle fear. And, you know, I was scared for myself, but I looked around, I saw women and children. He was yelling in their faces, saying these threats. I couldn't just sit still. Some people say that I was holding on to Mr. Neely for 15 minutes. This is not true. I mean, between stops is only a couple minutes. And so the whole interaction lasted less than 5 minutes. Some people say I was trying to choke him to death, which is also not true. I was trying to restrain him. You can see in the video, there's a clear rise and fall of his chest, indicating that he's breathing. I'm trying to restrain him from him being able to carry out the threats. And then some people say that this was about race, which is absolutely ridiculous. I didn't see a black man threatening passengers. I saw a man threatening passengers. It's a lot of whom were people of color.
Does that sound like a man who woke up one morning and thought, today I just want to end someone's life? Of course not. But the unhinged mob doesn't care and wants him to hang.
What's his name? Jordan Neely! Say his name! Jordan Neely! What's his name? Jordan Neely! Say his name!
Notice how some of these people are the same ones that support Hamas. You can tell by the clothing they're wearing. But, you know, I get the sadness of a man dying, but seriously, how can anyone not see that this was an act of self-defense from a deranged individual who made death threats against the people on the train? The man was clearly acting in self-defense, but people want him to hang. And meanwhile, millions of people are celebrating the cold-blood murder of another man. It's insane, but it's not surprising. As a society that has turned from God, we've lost our moral compass. And I said it earlier, but the Bible describes our society perfectly in Isaiah, which says, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." Also in 2 Timothy, Paul lists many things that people will become in the last days, and one of them is not loving the good. Listen, it says, "There will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, and not lovers of the good. Also treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of good. Having a form of godliness, but denying its power. Have nothing to do with these people. Wow, doesn't that describe our society today? I mean, think about woke people, right? They act all holy now, but then when you talk about the scriptures or the Bible, they're completely deny it and call you a lunatic. It's insane. This is tragic and sad that our society is so disoriented and lost. We will continue to see our culture erode as the traditional morals and ethics that built this great nation get thrown into the wind and replaced by woke garbage that denies objective truth and morality and hates biblical values. You guys, I hope you enjoyed this content. Please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, take care and God bless.